Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome to our monthly podcast entitled Conversations at the Center. We thank you all for being here. We have a live audience today, and also those of you that's joining us on social media, on YouTube. We definitely like the likes, but we absolutely love when you hit the subscribe button. So make sure that you hit the subscribe button. Reach out to your friends, your pew partners at your church, your prayer partners that you talk to, those that are in your circle. Let them know that you are online podcast with Conversations at the Center. Share with them and encourage them to hit that subscribe button. Today, we have a real treat for you. Right? We have here at Conversations at the Center, the founder of Conversations at the Center. We have Brother Wayne Rollins. Now, before we get to talk about him, let me just give you a brief let me talk about him a little bit. How about that? This is one of God's teacher extraordinaires, right? Has thousands of YouTube followers. Make sure to hit those subscribe buttons. And along with posted powerful preaching videos, right? Brother Rollins works in our city with different pastors and churches to further God's kingdom through his unique pause right there. Say that again. Through his unique teaching style, he has skills and knowledge that was just built for the decades. So again, we want to give a thank you for Brother Wayne Rollins allowing us to talk to you today, get to know you. Before we get started, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
Again, my name is Wayne Rollins Jr. Been in church all my life, a church kid. Grew up in church. Work with the youth, musician, play drums, piano, innovator, creator, always looking for the next. Hard to define because you can't put a label on me. Because you put a label on me, then you'll make an attempt to try to limit me. Don't try to put me in a box because I'm unboxable. I'm everything that you think of and more.
Okay.
That's how I describe myself.
Okay.
Unpredictable. You don't know what's coming up next.
Okay. All right. That's definitely useful in God's kingdom. Tell me, how did you end up here at Christ-Centered Missionary Baptist Church?
Well, I grew up in church, Anderson Street Missionary Baptist Church, under Pastor May Tucker. There, worked with the youth, doing a lot of stuff there. Felt a tug and a need and a pulling and a urging that my seasons was changing.
Okay.
Shifted from there. Ended up leaving there, going to another church, Dallas, Texas. After being there for about a year and a half, received a call that Christ Center was ready to be birthed. Okay. Interested, come check it out. That came in that weekend to help out, get everything set up. Okay. Come that first Sunday, got everything set up, and been coming back. Have been coming ever since. Attending two church services in the morning, early morning service in Dallas, then drive back over here.
Okay.
But we've been going back and forth since, 10, 15, 20 years now.
All right.
Doing the same thing.
All right.
That's my journey on how I landed up here.
Right. A little bit of information that maybe a lot of people don't know, and maybe your subscribers and those that are in the congregation and the audience today. You and I grew up in the same church.
Yeah,
we grew up from little young men all the way up, and the thing about being here right now and talking to you and actually getting a conversation out of you, I remember it was probably 3 or 4 years, and I probably could count the words on my hands how you talked, right? This was a silent brother, never said too much, always maybe sitting around thinking, had a lot of things on his mind, but very rarely shared and opened up, right? And now here you are today, just one of God's just extraordinary teachers in the teaching style. I think when I think back on it now, it's like he was getting you there. He was getting it, putting it all in you. And now once you started to talk and come out, look at you. Right, so we thank God for that. Thank God for that. Let me ask you this. As a teacher, right, God is using you to deliver his word in the most powerful way and in an innovative way, in a way that you make applicable, right, to the old and the young. What is your lesson preparation process?
Well, I'm a writer first. I write first.
Okay.
Extensive writer. I read a lot, various books. I'm an avid reader, try to be disciplined to read at least 4 to 5 books a month. Try to stay disciplined on that. Daily prayer. But the beginning of my preparation is, because I teach, oftentimes I got the opportunity to teach in series. I'm able to develop that series, develop whatever type of tone and topic that it is. But I'm also a student of word. What I mean by words are words.
Okay.
Wordsmith.
All right.
So I do an extensive word study.
Okay.
On the Greek, Hebrew, Latin word study.
Right.
Then once I break that down, get that preparation, I always love to do what I call a deep exegetical survey of the text, whatever it is, whatever topic it is.
Okay.
That is to break it down to its common denominator. Then what I do on the presentation of the preparation process, I try to give you as much information as I possibly can. Before I give you all that information, I'm going to ask myself 25 to 30 questions every single time.
Okay.
I write down questions every single time.
Right.
So that as a student, what question you're going to ask, I'm already answering.
Okay.
Then once I give you all the information, I try to wrap it up with giving what I call practical application.
Nice.
I don't want to just give you information, then don't give you something to use it.
Right.
I always want to give you practical information. But I always try to break it down to its lowest common denominator. Whether you 18 or 88, that you can get it.
Okay. Great.
Jesus talked to the people plain,
Right.
but he dealt with the disciples deeply.
Okay.
So I want to see him plainly with it. And then once I finish that, I always try to give, practical application, not only information, but try to give you practical application. And then, given some time, wrap it up in what we call a little bit of celebration, if
Okay.
possible.
Okay.
But that's my whole process.
Okay.
Don't take me that long because I'm always writing.
Writing and
This
reading.
is
Okay.
weeks and months. Be honest, kind of years in advance.
Okay.
I have spiral notebooks full of lessons,
Right.
just waiting.
Just wait.
Because I write. My
Okay.
habit is writing.
Okay.
I mean, I write a lot.
Okay. That's very insightful. Right. We know you years ahead of us. Right. With the teachings, we all have them. Those not even necessarily in the preacher community or in the teaching community. We all have them in all walks of life. But let me ask you, who are some of your preaching and teaching mentors? Who do you look to? Who do you study or go about?
Probably one of my, it's an odd deal. One of my good mentors is B1, Noah One.
Okay.
An odd mentor in the sense that we argue 99% of the time on issues. 99% of the time on this. I love when you talk about good preachers and teachers. So as a teacher, I study preachers.
Okay. Okay.
And if a preacher, particularly in the African American tradition, black church tradition, if he's a good preacher, he teaches at the same time.
Okay.
If he's good.
Right.
So we break that. I love Dr. Gullis' nostalgialistic style.
Okay.
Oh, remind me of my upbringing.
Okay.
Like Pastor Justice compassion. I'm a man who I probably heard the most, which I listen to CDs and cassette tapes.
Okay.
I have plenty of cassette tapes. I listen to it every day. Fred Douglass Haynes, I probably heard thousands of them.
Okay.
That's my 1A. 1B, Marcus Crosby out of Wheeler Avenue, Houston, Texas. Love him because he's a wordsmith. Another teacher that I love is Howard John Wesley from Alexandria, Virginia. A great preacher teacher that I study all the time. I think every time I listen to him, I learn something.
Okay.
Every single time, I don't care what it is. I'm a student of Jeffrey Johnson and his illustration. The best illustration ever. So these are the ones that I often listen to on a constant basis.
Okay.
I gotta mention Lance Swanson out of St. Paul because I like his presentation and writing style. And so to me, a good teacher, good mentor, leader, these are people that I watch at a distance, but I listen to them all the time.
Right.
And I like how they work a lesson or a text and build up something.
Okay.
And that become my guide point.
Okay.
I got also one of them, another mentor in school is Pastor John Wilson. He used to be over Christian education at French West Baptist Church.
Okay.
But now he's moved on to another church. But he was probably one of my biggest mentors because he was so hard. I mean, he would give him something. He like, that's not good.
Right.
Like, man, we just church. It don't matter. It was just a Sunday school lesson. And he like, you got to go deeper than that.
Right.
So he probably one that challenged me a lot.
Okay. All right. Definitely need that when you teaching God's word. How do you how do you stay connected to God daily? What spiritual practices do you find most helpful for you?
Prayer. You have to pray. I try to eat healthy, work out, and also pray.
Okay.
Try to be healthy. So if
Okay.
I have a disciplined diet regimen
Okay.
and a disciplined workout regimen,
Right.
you got to have a disciplined prayer regimen also.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Yeah.
like
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
careful at what I eat,
Right.
careful at the extra activities I do, because I'm a runner, so I run all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that discipline. But also the way that keeps you, you also got to pray.
Okay.
That has to be part of your regimen, part of my regimen,
Right.
thing that helps me.
That's yeah, that's good. That's good. That's really good. Because if one of them is raggedy, then they all be
Yeah,
raggedy,
yeah.
right? But definitely most important, that prayer life,
Yeah.
right? Okay, all right. Do you have any favorite Bible verses or passages, and if so, how have they helped you with in your walk with God? How have they helped you?
I got part of my two favorite ones.
Okay.
Is Joshua chapter 13.
Okay.
Joshua chapter 13 deals with Joshua and Caleb.
Okay.
Caleb says, "Give me my mountain." He said, "I'm 40 years old. And I'm older now than when I started. But give it to me. Teach me that no matter how old you are, you got to still go out to that promise. Hold on to the promise and go out to it." He said, "They promised you this mountain. I'm going to go after it." So he claims it.
Okay.
Then my next favorite is Ephesians 3:20. To the God that's able to do
Yeah.
more than you can even ask
Right.
and more than you can even think of.
Think about it. Right.
According to the power that's at work within you. Problem is, most of us, we operate on what we call this functionality. We have to see faith.
Right.
God says, according to the power that's at work, and you got to have the faith to do it. And I'm able to do more than you can ask or think. Too often we miss what he could do because we ain't even thought about it. We ain't even asked about it because we don't have the faith to ask about it or faith to even think about it.
Right.
God is able to do more than that.
Okay.
So in Peter's encounter with Jesus, while he was on the water, Jesus walking on the water.
Yeah.
Peter sees it. Jesus never tells Peter to come walk on water. Peter said, "Lord, if it's you, bid me to come."
Yeah.
Jesus said, "Well, you want to come where I'm at, you got to do what ain't never been done before,
Yeah.
or what you ain't done before."
Okay.
That's what I call amazing faith. He's able to do what we ain't.
Right. Ooh.
So then Peter gets out of the boat and starts walking on water, and he starts sinking, and everybody highlight, "Yeah, Peter sinking." Okay. All my church experience and preachers and teachers always talk about Peter sinking. The meat of it is not he sunk. The fact is he got out of the boat. What about the other fellas that stayed on the boat?
Right.
That's interesting. But then they said that when he got back to the boat, they was amazed. The disciples who stayed on the boat worshiped him because of what they saw him do.
Right.
Peter worshiped because of what he experienced. He seen God do exceedingly abundantly above anything he could have asked or think.
Okay.
Too often we miss it.
Right.
So I always use that. I'm always asking God to blow my mind.
Right.
Too often we asking God to blow our mind based upon what we already
What we
seen him
already
do.
know. Yeah.
If I seen him
Yeah.
do something for you, well, give me another car.
Yeah.
God bless me with a house. And I'm going to say, "No, don't give me a car. Create me one.
Right.
Don't give me a job. Create me one.
Right.
Give me
Okay.
something that I ain't even seen before."
Yeah.
That means that's full faith, not functionality faith. I don't have to see it done before, but I want you to do something that ain't even been done before. That's who he is. So I get up every morning and say, "God, blow my mind today. Show me something that I ain't seen before. Give me an opportunity to encounter you in a way that I hadn't seen you and hadn't ran into you before."
Right. I believe, I'm gonna throw a little curveball here. I believe the book of Psalms, right? That's one of my favorite books, man. The book of Psalms it has something for you. I don't care what stage of life you're in, man. I don't care if you at the mountaintop, Psalms got something for you, right? You in the valley low, Psalms got something for you. You up, you down, you friendless, whatever, Psalms has you. What do you think about the book of Psalms?
Yes. So, puts it like this. Wherever season that you're at, travel goes ups and downs. What I like about it is what they call these halal, these songs of ascent. These songs that get you on their way to it.
Right.
But then there are also the songs of descent coming back. That is, no matter when you're going up, church should praise it. When you're coming down, church should praise it. That is, no matter what condition and or position that you find yourself in,
Yeah.
that gives you an opportunity to pray. That is because God is what they call not a conditional,
Right.
one who we can praise based upon the conditions. We're guilty of that. But when you read the Psalms, it's interesting. It tricks your emotions.
Right.
Moments you're up,
Yeah.
then you're down.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As a deer pants, thirsty, but you got to be that thirsty.
Right.
Then he also says, though you slay me, yet will I praise you. So no matter what season that you're in,
Yeah.
you read the Psalms, then find it.
Yeah. I like that. With that in mind, what has been your most challenging and speaking moments? What's challenged you the most?
Well, anytime I stand up in front of people, it's always challenging and nervous.
Okay.
Because somehow I get nervous. I don't like the way I sound. Sound funny. So that's why I would often allow that to turn me into a good writer.
Okay.
But I had two experiences on my teaching certification that I had to go through at Central West. That was challenging because room full of people there, but nobody cheered you, nobody celebrated you. They were just simply there to grade you, simply there to critique you.
Okay.
All it was.
Okay.
So that was a very difficult moment. It was, no matter how good you are.
Yeah.
So like these people preaching and teaching their trial sermons,
Yeah.
they wouldn't like cheer. You
Yeah.
wanted somebody to cheer for you, celebrate, you had to bring your own people.
Right.
But I was just there and it's like, I'm sitting there and it's like, I was sweating hard, going hard, and you had 25 minutes to do it, and I did it in that time, and it's like, okay, through the whole lesson, nobody said anything. Then at the end, they like, congratulations. That was good. But probably my most challenging one was years ago, had the opportunity to speak at the last 7 sayings of Christ.
Okay.
God called me. I don't know how he got my number.
Okay.
Contacted me. Not only talked to him briefly on the phone, accepted the invitation, then we text for about a week. And it gave me direction to the church, went to the church, found the church. Got there early, didn't know anybody there. Got a chance to meet the pastor and talk to him. And I was trying to figure out how my name came up.
Right.
And they said, well, somebody told me about you through somebody else, through somebody. It was like 4 different people. Like 4 different people talking about me. And anyway, so I got a chance there, and I got there, and I was spoke on the phrase, my God, why has thou forsaken me? That was my word. And I used the title, Makes Me Want to Holler. And I was okay sitting there listening to the people before me. But when it was my time to go, I got up and I was like shaking. And I had my phone there and it was just shaking and it started hitting the podium. You could hear, and I was nervous. I bagged away from it and I like bowed my head in prayer and then I opened my eyes and I just went.
Okay.
And I was sweating so hard. They're like, I got dead after about a couple of minutes, like I just ripped. I just went at it. And it was like probably one of my most challenging moments because nobody knew me there.
Right.
But I mean, like, so I was nervous. Then I was surrounded. I was the youngest guy on the panel, all behind great preachers and pastors, and I was like the oddest guy in the group.
Right.
Like really, like I know everybody was in the audience. Like, what is he doing up there? And all the eyeballs was up on me but when I finished, I mean, it was like I couldn't even hear myself finish because everybody was up there. Like I couldn't even hear myself at the end of the close. But that was like one of my most challenging moments.
Okay. Let me ask you. Let me make sure because I got some research on some numbers here, so I want to go a little deep on some things, right? So in a recent Pew Research survey, get this now. 87% of African Americans say that they attend church on a regular basis. 87% say they attend. So attendance among the Generation Z, the 18 to 23, and the millennials, 24 to 39, has slightly declined about 10% among Gen Z and 12% among the millennials. With those numbers, with those figures in mind, let me ask, what are some things you feel that we as church can do to reverse this trend, which seems to be trending down among African Americans?
So a black church experience is unique in that majority of blacks have some idea, based upon our experience in this country of God and have a church experience. It's the CME crowd, Church Mother's Day and Easter crowd that we come to. But based on that, you're dealing with two demographics.
Okay.
The Gen Zs, these are the people that just left home or just leaving home, graduating,
Right.
just beginning to start their own. The interesting part about this group, these are new people. They didn't grow up with the church experience like we had.
Okay. Okay.
They don't know about the old 100s.
Right.
They didn't grow up in it.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
So the challenge is they're in a transitional mode. Millennials, these people are now, they're just beginning their new careers, starting their new jobs, new homes. Many of them are new home buyers. Many of them, depending on where you're at, just migrated to a new city or state.
Right.
So now they got to try to find a place that they've never been before.
Right.
And how do you stay consistent with it? Like they got to find a doctor, got to find a nurse.
Right.
So also a church.
Right.
The challenge that we face is how do we be relatable to them.
Right.
I know the first thing people are going to say is, well, the gospel is always related. I agree with that.
Right. Right.
How to change that trend dealing with the tendencies, to me, introduce people to a relationship with God, not a relationship with the church. The reason why is because the church full of people will let you down. But a relationship with God, you can make me mad at this church. I'll leave it. But if I have a relationship with God, I'll leave this church, but I won't leave God.
Right.
So we have to write a relationship with God.
Okay.
But the next issue is we also got to challenge the issues that they face.
Okay.
I mean, you're a millennial, you're a gen, you just started some of them.
Right.
The challenges are just new. I mean, I got a new mortgage that I never paid for. I got a new family that I'm just beginning. I'm in a new relationship, probably in a new city or a new state. So these are new challenges that I'm facing. So we also gotta listen, tune into it, and say, look here, let's begin to address those issues that they face. I think that's part of the trend that'll help.
Okay.
Begin to be listening.
Right.
I mean,
Right. Right.
what was good for my mother is her challenge is a little bit different than mine.
Okay. Okay.
I grew up in a different era. I got it.
Right.
Come on the backs of civil rights era. Got it. But some of the challenges now, it's not just civil rights.
Right.
It's also about the civil.
Yeah.
Civil rights.
There you go.
So it's a different challenge.
There you go.
So we got to be attuned to that, listen to that, and begin to address those issues.
I like it. What is let's see, what would be your perspective on the role of prayer in a Christian life, and then bring it home, how has it affected your spiritual journey?
A prayer is, for a Christian, it's the same thing what water is to a fish.
Okay.
That you need it.
All right.
That you can't separate the two.
All right.
Fish out of water is like Christian out of prayer. They work intertwined. The Jewish faith has 3 prayer rituals.
Okay.
The morning, noonday, and evening prayer. The Muslim faith, the Fajr, first beginning of prayer, they have their 5 seasons of prayer. And as Christian, we're called to pray basically 2 sets of prayers. That is what we call that unceasing prayer.
Okay.
And then what we call a petition prayer. So it's not a set time that we are to do it.
Right.
But we're called to pray continuously.
Right.
And make these requests of us.
Right. Correct.
A petition prayer, what is that you desire? So that becomes what we want. The challenge is we have to be disciplined in it.
Yeah.
That's what I spoke of earlier. Discipline. We're disciplined in everything else. You're disciplined in eating, disciplined in sleeping. You have to be disciplined in prayer the same way.
Okay.
So you have to have that same discipline to make you, help you to understand that without prayer you can't exist.
Right. Okay. Cool. What word would you have for, let's say, a new believer, right? And what word would you give a seasoned saint? Obviously different. So talk to me about what would you give a new believer versus a seasoned saint.
Really the same thing.
Okay.
Almost. That is, becoming a Christian ain't gonna relieve your problems. The only difference is you just got help dealing with the problems.
Okay. All right.
Whether you knew, you're gonna still have problems. Where you been, you still gonna have problems.
Right.
The only difference is you got help dealing with the problems that you got to go through.
Right. Okay.
But don't and it's, once again, same person with a new person, same person with a season. Don't grow weary in well doing. Don't get tired of it.
Yeah.
Just because you just come believe it, all your problems ain't going to go away.
Right.
Be consistent. You've been here before. Stay consistent.
Yeah.
Still going to happen.
Yeah.
So don't think that just because you become a Christian, a new believer, that all your problems are going to go away. You got help. Dealing with it. You're going to have drama. Dealing. But the cool thing about it is you got help dealing with the chaos that you have to deal with.
Okay. In our we just had this is election year, right? We just had I know in my district just had a runoff election, and we know in a few months we will be doing some higher level elections. Let me ask you this: how do you think Christians can effectively engage and support those who are struggling with their faith amid this political turmoil and division?
First of all, tell anybody, know what you believe and know why you believe.
Okay.
Make sure your faith is secure. Know what you believe, know why you believe. Secondly, as believers, we're going to disagree. We're going to have some disagreements. Shared with you earlier about one of my mentors.
Okay.
We disagree 99% of the time. As a matter of fact, we're going to disagree on this right here. So we disagree. But I don't let anybody take away my faith because I disagree with you on a certain issue or topic.
Right.
Faith is.
Absolutely.
So one of the things I try to encourage you, know what you believe, stand by what you believe, understand it.
Right.
That we're quick to talk about what Christ did or what Christ said, but we don't want to do what Christ did. It's the argument that we get into. He said it, but you don't want to do what he said.
Yeah.
And so there's more that unites us than divides us. We live in a teacher's time right now. Trust me.
Okay.
This past week alone, some major moves happened that making an argument on some people's faith.
Right.
But
Right.
the salvation is secure. I ain't even argue with that. I just disagree with them theologically.
Yeah.
I disagree with them. I mean, major leaders. So I disagree. The thing I tell everybody, know what you believe, know why you believe, and stand by that belief. Don't allow anybody to deter you on that faith.
Okay. So what advice do you have for anyone that's just looking for something? Just looking for something. Help them out.
Be yourself.
Okay.
That's important because too often we live in a world of imitation designers.
Okay.
They credit you, and we keep trying to be something else that we're not.
Right.
Be yourself. Being different don't mean that you're dysfunctional.
Okay.
You're just different.
Yeah.
I mean, trust me, I'm cut from a different cloth.
Right.
You can't go to the package to try to find me.
It's amazing you just said that because we heard a dynamic word earlier talking about that exact same thing. Know who you are and be who you are, not try to be somebody else. So that's how you know God is definitely, the Spirit is definitely working. I think we're coming to a close. I have one more deal, but you know what? Before I get into that, I want to definitely thank Dr. Justice and the Christ-Centered Missionary Baptist Church for this time to allow us to have conversations at the center, right? I thank you for allowing us to dig a little bit into you, right? See who you are, why you believe what you believe, how do you teach like you do, right? Again, those that are joining us, we love you, we thank you, we ask you to definitely subscribe and tell your friends, right? Tell your friends, have them subscribe, urge them, your family, everyone, we love that, right? Today, right, we're here with Brother Wayne Rollins Jr., again, one of God's extraordinary teachers. Brings the word like nobody, breaks it down, he gives us what we need, right? We thank you again. I need you to do something for me in this last couple of minutes, right? Look right there, right, in the camera, and tell everyone what's next for Brother Rollins.
Got some things working right now. A lot of things, well, I have a lot of things on the burner.
Okay.
Cooking right now. Not ready to be presented yet, so I'm careful before I pull it out the oven.
Okay.
Still cooking. Got some things working.
All right.
One one thing I would like to do is for this particular social media, again, to take root.
Okay.
Live in a different age now, an
Right.
era now. We
Right.
live in a global era.
Absolutely.
But also,
Absolutely.
communications era too, to where we're not just limited to people walking through the doors of the church.
Okay.
Have to reach you from a global perspective.
Absolutely.
So I want to try to push the global medium a little bit farther.
Okay.
I'm working on a couple of things that would feel being led to help with that.
Okay.
Not just here, but just all over. I got a couple of events coming up
Okay.
that I've been working on
All right. All right.
that as soon as I get that green light, it's gonna be on.
Gonna be on.
And then like a kind of sneak preview. So I told you I'm a avid writer.
Okay.
I have books that I've been hesitant to put out.
Okay.
So I'm working on that to really,
Oh,
But
wow.
then-
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll speak it into existence. So I'm working on it right now because I'm in negotiations with the with the printing process and all that part.
Okay,
So I believe that it's going to come out as basically like call a daily devotional
Right.
deal that I'm working on right now. That I've been working on.
Yeah.
That has been complete.
Yeah.
Just needs some
Okay.
refining. So that's really that's one of the big things coming on.
Okay.
Then, like I said, I have a couple of other engagements coming that I think would be pretty cool.
Okay.
And I still want to push that medium a little bit more.
Right.
And I still think that there's a lot more challenges that we face. So I have some other things that I like to push on too.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. You all have heard that here first. We look forward to that book. We look forward to those speaking engagements. You heard it here at Conversations at the Center. So once again, Brother Rollins, we definitely thank you and appreciate your time. Know that we do ask that you join us again next month, second Sunday on next month at 12:30, and we'll be here and have another Conversations at the Center. All right. Thank you.